It was ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous.
The history lessons are over. It's all about the here and now.
Not only was it such an awful thing to watch, it just brought up so many things that are wrong in football.
Time for England to show us exactly what they can do.
A lot of people have said that England were well beaten on the day, and they probably were.
Miroslav Klose has struck first for Germany. 2-0. Germany are all over England.
So we let some silly goals in, but we were getting back into the game.
Crossed in, Upson!
People say we didn't have any fighting spirit on the day, but we could have been 2-2 at half-time and gone 2-0 down.
Defoe. Good challenge. Lampard! Oh, it's not over the line.
Oh, it looked it, Clive.
It looked it. Well, did England equalise there?
That incident is a big turning point.
Oh, it's not even close. Not even close.
I knew it was a goal. I knew instantly. I haven't even seen the replay yet. I don't need to.
Well, they didn't think it went over the line in 1966. That definitely went over the line by a yard.
I've been in that position. I've won at Crystal Palace and Leeds, and when that ball bounces over the line, from that angle you can't tell, and you've got to be sure. You know, you can't guess that. It's such a big decision.
There's the guilty man, the Uruguayan assistant.
He will argue he was in the right position for the offside and such like for that phase of play, but it was just astonishing because everybody, you know, people around the world knew at the time, and the two people who mattered didn't.
In this instance, I wouldn't blame the referee and linesman, because I would blame the fact that we should have goal line technology.
It's impossible in a World Cup to play so important games without technology.
A huge injustice for a revived England.
For the referee, it was terrible because he lost his World Cup place and he lost his career because of it.
Of course, the second half, we come out, we're 2-1 down, we have got to push forward, we have got to get this equaliser, we get caught on the counter-attack game.
It's the same old story, only worse.
One bad decision.
Many English fans will say if Frank Lampard's goal had been given, it would have been a different result. Would you agree?
Yeah, for sure. If it's a goal, then it's 2-2, and in the second half it can happen everything. But now it's not a goal, and now we are up to Wembley goal. 1966, it was the same.
So, Patrick, you took part in one of the greatest World Cup games of all time, the France-Germany semi-final in 1982.
I will tell you here and now, and I will tell you when on camera, it's the worst mistake I've ever seen a referee make.
It's 1-1, you've just come on as a sub, you're through and about to score. What happened next?
I don't know. I was unconscious.
I can remember it so clearly, as you do. These, again, certain things happen in games that just live on forever, and I just couldn't believe what I was watching.
Platini taking over and playing a great ball for Battiston.
It was just so blatant.
Just wonder what the referee thought about the challenge from Schumacher on Battiston. It certainly looked a wild jump.
I lost 3 teeth and broke 1 vertebrae.
Oh dear. So what did the referee give? A penalty, sending off, life ban for Schumacher?
Not exactly.
And we're going to restart with a goal kick.
You know, Schumacher was a very good goalkeeper. Obviously, had a rush of blood, came off the line at the wrong time, realised he'd made a mistake, got caught in no man's land, and then the other side of him came out.
For me, I think the lad should definitely have been sent off.
Maybe the referee thinks he's mistimed it and he didn't really, he didn't really mean it.
I'll be Schumacher. You be Patrick Battiston, and Dave, you're the ref.
Platini playing a great ball for Battiston.
No, not that, Schumacher.
The perverse irony was it ended up 3-3, and the goalkeeper saves the penalty that puts him in the World Cup final.
Bossi. And it's saved! The goalkeeper read it and got it right. German players are on their feet.
Sometimes life's not fair.
Paul, I'm afraid, has made one of the most heinous errors as a referee at a World Cup.
It must have been awful the way his family were pressured, the way, you know, the media camped outside his house, followed his children to school and such like. Because of what? All he did was make a mistake.
And there's going to be a card here for Simunic.
It was end of the group. There was a lot riding on it. Croatia needed a win, Australia needed a draw. It started a little feistily and it kind of got progressively worse.
Viduka called over by Simunic. Referee has tried desperately to play an advantage and finally has to give in. And Simunic is another of those players who has already been cautioned. Croatia are down to 9.
When the number 3 got the second yellow card, my immediate reaction was he was off, and then he wasn't, so I just thought, well, okay, I must have got it wrong, I must have miscalculated.
Graham Poll hasn't realised and hasn't dismissed him from the field of play.
I was kind of cringing inside for him because, you know, you never want to see people mess up, you know, and not to that degree, not something that glaringly obvious.
Simunic should not be on the pitch. He's been booked twice, and Graham Poll has forgotten to send him off, and what's more, the 4th official and the assistants haven't pointed it out either.
When you see Graham, he said it just shows you that everybody makes mistakes. By God, he made a right cock up that day, didn't he?
Graham Poll has blown his whistle. Australian fans are celebrating, but it's premature. There's another card, and now he's booked Simunic for a 3rd time. The error compounded. The full-time whistle has been blown, and in quite extraordinary circumstances, never seen before at a World Cup. Graham Poll has lost control.
Even after the game, when the assessor came to see him, the assessor said to him, and they didn't know then, they still didn't believe him. He had to get a DVD to show him.
And I fear that this now scuppers any chance of Graham Poll taking charge of a World Cup final.
When he came back to England in August 2006 to referee, it was very, very difficult. People wouldn't let it go. He took unmerciful stick from supporters and such like. And he decided at some point throughout that season that he was going to retire at the end.
He laughs about it now. I bet he didn't when he got in that dressing room after the game. Oh my God, what have I done? The whole world's watching me, you know what I mean? But hey, it just goes to show mistakes are made.
He's probably the best player in the world at the moment, so there's no doubt about that. Hopefully we'll stop him today and perhaps we can sneak one in at the other end.
Lineker or Maradona, who's going to be a winner tonight?
I jumped up, nearly kicked the telly in. Cheat, you, wow, you know what I mean? I was livid with the geezer.
Terry Butcher wasn't happy. He wanted to go and chin Maradona, I remember that.
And Maradona picks away through where there seemed to be none. And Shilton is back to it. It's Maradona's goal. And England claimed that it was put in with the hand.
As the ball goes up, I think Shilton's going to get it. I think Shilton's favourite. He doesn't get there, and then I just see the stadium explode.
Shilton is so incensed that he's come all the way to argue with the referee.
I always thought I was getting to the ball before Maradona, and I think he must have thought that, and he just took a chance. He just put his arm up and punched it.
Should Shilton have knocked his head off? If Shilton had his time back again, I think he'd take ball and man.
And Maradona handled it in.
Diego was there and the ball was there, and somehow it was a very instinctive thing to do.
And fortune has turned sour on England.
He's very clever the way he did it.
Clearly put in with a hand.
I was watching the television, and only after the 4th take, I said, oh.
Everyone knows. He certainly knows.
I'm at a loss, really, why the officials missed it and everybody else in the stadium saw it.
All I can go on is what I felt I saw, which was the ball in the air, with Maradona going for it, with Shilton being favourite, and Maradona handled the ball into the goal, didn't he? Didn't he?
World Cups are won and lost on decisions, whether they're good or bad.
That's a bad decision in a very big match.
We certainly got the wrong end of a shocking decision and the wrong end of one of the best World Cup goals you'll ever see.
And he's hurting England again here. It's a brilliant run. It's one of the World Cup great goals.
fantastic footballer, but a cheat.
It's one that we will never know again, isn't it? You know, but it doesn't matter.
The World Cup final 1966. England versus Germany, the pinnacle. A fine game was finally balanced. England had trailed, they had equalised and led, and then they'd been dragged into extra time. And then, the most famous, the most infamous, still perhaps the most enduringly unresolved decision of them all.
Hurst here now, Hurst! Yes! No, they haven't given it.
My first reaction was, I want clarification which would come from the media. Was it or wasn't it?
There it is, that's what we saw. Now stop praying. It is a goal! It is a goal! They've given it!
Because you didn't have the number of cameras that you now have in a stadium, of course, nobody could prove whether the decision was right or wrong. And therefore, to some extent, it's the alleged goal that never was.
Did it cross the line?
Jeff, you're the only one who really knows.
You was there,
Definitely
mate.
sure.
Yeah.
Roger Hunt's reaction, wheeled away, arms up. Had he not been sure as a professional, he'd have put the ball away.
I don't care really if it was 4 foot the other side of the line, because the impact it had on the country and the way it pushed them forward, football-wise, was fantastic.
Hurst goes forward, he might make it 3. He has! He has! And that's it! That's it!
So the fourth goal was indisputable. And for the first time, and still the only time, England lifted the World Cup. Bobby shook the Queen's hand after a referee's decision and that of a Russian linesman, which shook the world.
Thousands cheered England's victorious winners of the World Cup. If ever a fairy tale had come true, this was it.
A flawed fairy tale? Perhaps. But still, who honestly knows? And that's the ref's lot. Uncertainty, acrimony, argument, eternal dispute. He's the unappreciated arbiter, the counsellor, judge and jury, the unloved individual without whom there could be no game we love. Sometimes the villain himself is the hero. More often, it is his decisions which determine who the hero should be.